Now we're going to take on hellfire itself. Burn, baby, burn!
What she means is we're working on the furnace today.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the work the other day to get the floor out was so I could get this furnace out. They've got all this duct work that's connected into the furnace that has to be pulled loose before the furnace can come out. And there's no way to get to it without removing the floor. So I'm getting ready to undo the wiring and the duct work, and then the furnace should pull right out after that. I know I've got wiring issues. Got some bad wires here. So I'm probably going to go ahead and take this apart more than I normally would. So we don't even have a wire on the limit switch, so the thing wouldn't have worked anyway. So there's definitely some wiring issues with this thing.
Disconnected in that one spot?
Well, no, there's a bunch of screws down in here I'm going to have to take loose. It's going to be a project. On the other hand, I don't know if I can get to the wiring to replace it without doing it all. It's a fan switch. I don't know what all this is.
Hooray!
And there was much rejoicing.
Would you like me to come help? I see where it's stuck.
It's hanging on something.
Yeah, it's hanging on that middle post. And you. It's hanging on that right there. No. That middle piece. Oh wow, it's really rusted.
Yeah.
What'd you find?
Do not store gasoline or other flammables in this compartment. Had to take a short little break to run into town and get some parts. The wiring on this thing is pretty torn up, so I'm needing to redo it, so I got a auto wiring repair kit. The around here at the back, one of the safeties, the limit switch, when it gets too hot, this will open up, disconnect the circuit, and kill the power. That's broken off right at the very end, so there wasn't any room to splice. So I'm gonna probably run a new wire there, but I'm not sure how that's going to work, because it's got to be able to take the heat, and I don't think the wire I've got can. So I may have to look into this one a little bit. So yeah, we ran into town and picked up parts, but this wiring's a mess. Because this particular wire runs across the heat exchanger, it's got to be able to take the heat, so I can't replace the wire with what I have on hand like I intended, but I have shortened up the path of the wire just enough to let me go ahead and put it in and connect it here. So we're going to do that, but before I get too invested, I want to verify that this limit switch is actually working. Alright, I have continuity through the switch. I'd have to get it really hot to find out if it actually works as the safety, but I'm going to assume it does. So I'll put a new end on here and hook that up. And I'm just basically going to have to go through and fix up most of the wiring. Over here we have a sail switch. Its job is to verify that the fan is running and we have airflow. When there's a little paddle or sail over here, and when the fan is blowing enough air, it causes this switch to close. That sends current through the limit switch and on into the circuit board and tells the circuit board it can start sending propane to it. So I'm getting ready to verify that the sail switch works. So we have no power now. Sail switch sticks just a little, but the unit's upside down, so it may be the weight that's causing that issue. So that works. The thermostat wires were red, but I have were blue, but I've replaced them with red wire because that's what I had. But we've already got one red wire, which is for power, so to reduce the chance of confusion, I'm going to add some blue tape onto this wire. So I'm going to hook up these wiring harnesses and clips that I disconnected earlier. I believe I should be able to test run this without any propane hooked up to it. We'll find out for sure. I'm hooking up my jump starter pack as a 12-volt supply. So the unit has power. Then I should be able to short these thermostat wires and it should start up, I think. Well, apparently not. Alright, so that's not working. Let me see if I can figure out why. Pretty much concluded that the fan motor is burnt out. So we're going to have to replace fan motor on this. But otherwise, all the other safety systems seem to be good. We won't really know if the circuit board is good until we get the fan running. So, there we are. Well, I had a thought that perhaps I'm using a jump starter, portable jump starter battery pack as my power source for this. And it occurred to me that because the first thing this thing activates is the motor, that it might be looking like a short or an incorrect directly connected circuit to that jump starter, because it's got all kinds of electronics and safety features and things built into it. So I found an old battery. Doesn't have much power to it, but I've hooked it up, and I can get the motor running now. So the motor is not bad, but it's not spinning fast enough to activate the switch. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a good charge on this battery and see where we go from there. If not, I'll have to go see if I can find a good battery somewhere. Or hook it back up to the house power and see what happens, because we've got the 12-volt system that it's supposed to run off of, the converter charger, and I may just hook it up to that and see what happens. The next trick, I guess, is going to be see if I can get propane to this thing and see if it will fire up. But I can see that if I hold the sail switch closed, the LED on the circuit board is coming on, indicating that it's trying to fire. So if I get some propane to it, this thing may just work. Alright, I think I'm ready to hook this thing back up to some propane and see if it will actually run. We know the electronics and the fan parts work. Now I need to test the gas valve, the igniter, and the flame sensor. And the best way to do that is put some propane to it and see what happens. We just had to run into town and get a few fittings and a tank of propane. So I'm going to put it back in the case first, because I don't want to have to put it back in the case after it's hot. Propane hooked up and turned on. My guess is this is going to take a few minutes to get the air out of the lines and get actual propane up there so it can fire. Close the thermostat. First try for ignition, I think it lit.
It's warm.
We have heat. That's getting hot.
Yeah, it is. It's getting hot. You smell it. It's burning all that dust out.
Yep. Our furnace works. Yay!
So this is why we did segments in the floor. So you can see that segment.
That's the reason.
Yep, that's why you have different segments. It's for this very reason right here. Scott is needing to work on the heater. So he is getting ready to take up the panel there. And it doesn't cause us to take up the rest of the wall or floor. So it makes it a little bit easier for him to get access to things. Awesome! You're so genius. We have heat!